What's good, YouTube? Welcome to another day in the bootcamp. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. If you would like to join my community, make sure you click the link in the description below. Now, we've had part one, part two of the exit protocols or the exit strategy that we use. Today is the final part of the exit strategy, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This right here is like the finale of your exit strategy. This right here and I know I keep saying it's a game changer, and you once you do it, it's gonna make you way more profitable. But this right here is something that can help you scale an account. So for the people that are trying to scale, for the people who have not had a profitable time within the market, and a lot of these are for the traders that actually see profits but don't get to secure it. So today the topic is going to be about taking partials. And I know you've probably heard or maybe never heard about taking partials, but I'm going to explain it to you properly and how you can take partials properly within your trade, so that then doesn't matter what trade you're in, doesn't matter how the trade comes out. Once you do this, you are securing some sort of money, because when we are trading and when we are in the markets, anyone can show you, oh look, I'm floating like $1,000 or $2,000, right? The thing is, the the real traders understand that when you are trading, whatever's floating is not the skill. The skill is when to exit, when to enter, and when to exit. And obviously, we've gone through a lot of entry strategies. We've gone through quite a lot of exit strategies. But now it's like we need to understand how to maximize the position that we have, just in case the market reverses on us. Because no matter what happens, guys, in your trade or whatever journey you have, you're always going to have the market, do some sort of reversal on you. And then it's like you were up a certain amount of dollars, and now you're basically ending your trade on zero. And so we want to at least secure some of the money that we saw in this position. And so this is something called taking partials. So if you're using MetaTrader, I think you can do it on TradeLocker. I don't know if you can do it on CTrader, but I think majority of the platforms you can go onto your trade position and close half or whatever amount of lot size you had. You can close a bit of that trade to secure some of the profit. So let me give you an example. Let's say we went for a sell right around here. Let's say, price just broke structure, retested. We went for a sell, and obviously stop loss just above these highs like this. And obviously take profit. Let's just make this a 1-to-3 risk-to ratio. So 1-to-3 like this. Okay, guys. So let's say we just took a trade like this. Okay. Now let's say yesterday, if you guys remember, we we move our stop loss. So let's just make our stop loss red for a second. This is not red. Boom, boom. There we go. Let's say our stop loss is here. We got to 1-to-1. So a 1-to-1 ratio, risk-to-reward ratio, which is here. We got to 1-to-1. We move our stop loss to break even, which is now here. And so we're continuing the trade. We continue the trade. We continue the trade. Cool. Now trade is starting to reverse on us. Even though our trade is a 1-to-3, the trade is slowly reversing on us. Okay. And so when the price is reversing on you, the market can easily like go right back to here, and then you've now basically this trade, this whole setup, the amount of hours you've waited, just for example, is like probably 24 hours at most. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. So 20 hours, right? You are holding this trade for 20 hours. Let's say a few more hours after 20, and it hits, just theoretically, it hits your stop loss. What happens with this position? Well, you end up closing this trade with $0. Is that fun? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Is it worth the wait? Is it worth, holding this trade, seeing you potentially going 100, 200, almost getting, let's say, $300, just say, you're seeing $300 within in your account, and then you end up having a $0 trade. Now, psychologically, this is not a nice feeling. right? You've seen money in your account. You were probably dreaming about how you're gonna get your next supercar, how you're gonna fly out, how you're gonna buy yourself some new clothes, new trainers, right? And then the specific trade ends up closing at your break-even mark, right? And so all that thought that you've had about this trade has now become like basically a waste of time. And the reason why I say it's a waste of time is because you were floating profit. You were up. You probably screenshotted it. You probably, were showing your friends, look, I'm up, $100, $200. And then the trade ends up theoretically, obviously for this case, it's take profit, but theoretically, it ends up going towards your stop loss and ending up on a zero balance. Okay. Now, that's a rookie trader. Okay. So, a trader that lets their profits kind of run, I would call them a rookie trader, a trader that hasn't felt that before. Now, with the more experience you get, you'll realize that taking partials is very important. Okay, and it's called taking partials. Okay, so what that essentially means is you are taking part of your position away in the market. Let's say, for example, we did a one standard lot size for this trade. So this trade was one standard lot. I would be, let's say the market gets to around this level right here where it's slowly starting to reverse. Around this area, I would say, okay, you know what? I'll probably take half of my position size, turning this trade into not one lot. So let's say the trade is up around over there is like $200. Okay, for example, instead of me closing at $200, I'll be closing at $100, and then it will lower this lot to 0.5 lot. And then now I've secured in my bank account, so right now we're floating $100. And then in my trading account, I now have $100, right? Profit. So that's practically what it means by taking partials, okay? So we have now turned that one lot size, we halved it, let's just say theoretically, and then now the trade is floating $100, even though it was $200 because we secured $100. So if it goes and reverses now, what would happen is we would be at, let's say price ends up hitting our stop loss, we would end up having a $0 trade within this trade. However, I did secure half of the trade, meaning that I get to secure, or in my trading account, I will have $100. Okay. So I'll try and repeat that again. So for you guys that don't understand, if you guys are trading, you place a trade, price goes towards your take profit, it ends up reversing a little bit. Let's say you now want to take some of the money that you've made and you want to secure, but you don't want to close the full trade because you had a really good position. You end up closing half of your trade, so turning that one standard lot into a 0.5 lot size. That means that in your account now, instead of having zero as a profit, let's just say theoretically we want zero. Instead of having zero, you would have $100. Whatever you're floating, let's say you're floating 200, that halves to now $100. So if it was 200, it'll be $100. And so now let's say the trade ends up hitting your profit, which was, let's say the TP was a $300 profit. Now you would have $100 secured, and then you would have around $150 profit. Okay, so yes, you are losing a little bit of the size of the account, right? But you got to remember that you've just secured $100, which is safe now, and then you're gaining around 150. So instead of being a $300 trade, it has now become a $250 trade. Okay, so this is obviously all theoretical, and obviously it depends on your trade. But now I'm gonna break it down to you on when you should trigger that take partial, because I've tried to take partials and I end up having a very successful trade, and I felt like I should have held it. I've had trades where I've taken partials and it's hit my break-even point. I've had trades where I've taken partials and it wasn't just the partials at a wrong position, and I could have taken partials at a better position. So the way I like to take partials, okay, and I want you guys to take note of this, because I think this is, like I said, in all the other strategies, I've been trading for 5 years, guys. I've gone through all the trial and errors. I've gone through it. I understand now where to take partials and stuff like that. And so for me, and I'm just going to put keynote, okay, and I want you guys to write this down too. Keynote, always take partials at 50% of your trade. Okay, so let's say, for example, you placed a trade, price isn't moving as great. This doesn't always have to occur in every single trade, but let's say price isn't moving your way and you're not confident with this trade. What you would do is you would take, let's say we had a 1-to-3 whistle ratio, you would take your trade at 1.5 R, you would take 50% partials. That means you are closing half of your trade. Now, if you can't edit your trade, what I advise is taking multiple positions. For example, if this trade was a 1-lot size trade, and I knew that, okay, I don't want to hold this trade for long, or the trade is not looking as promising, what I can do, instead of doing a standard lot size, instead of doing a one lot trade, what I could do is do 2 sets of 0.5 lots. Okay, so what that does is I have 2 positions open, and I can now close 50%, one of the positions I can close, and leave the other one to just keep running. So the way I would mark up my charts is at 1.5 R. So this is how I do it. So let's just say I would normally draw like a line at 1.5 R. Okay, like this, let's say. So I think that's 1.5. So 1.5 R is here. And guys, it doesn't have to be exactly at 1.5, but I would say that is the best place to put it. And let's say this is a 1-to-3 whistle ratio trade. What I would do is I'll just mark on the charts. I'll say 50% partials. Okay, and I'll probably just put that on the right, the top, and let's make it a dash line there. And this is what you would see. So I would have like a line where it's like 50% partials, and I'll probably even set an alert at that area. And I even set the alert as like take 50% partials, or close half your trades, for example, right? And so I have an alert there. So as soon as price gets to there, I close one of my trades and I just, I let it run, right? I let the other trade just run. And so doing that secures 50% of your trade. So let's just say, again, price ends up coming down, and let's say it ends up reversing on you, right? And then goes up to your break-even mark. You can say that, you know what, even though it was a good trade and I didn't get to hit my first or my initial target, which was a 1-to-3 R, at least I secured half and I don't get to lose as much. And obviously, like I said yesterday, always making sure you close your trade at a you move your stop loss, sorry, at a 1-to-1 R. Okay, so practically this trade will now, the stop loss will be in the mid, in break even. You would have obviously 50% partials taken. If price decides to go up, you end up closing a trade at $0. However, because you took 50% partials, you have half of the position of the trade secured. So what does that do to help us? Because let's just say you're a trader that's trying to grow your account, that's trying to make your account better, and you are trying to make sure that every position that you take matters. Well, the way it helps you is if the market is very volatile, or if you've just been having a losing streak, you kind of gain a bit more confidence, because partials helps you feel little bit more relaxed when it comes to your trades, because now you're not, looking at the numbers go up and down and you're not seeing it fluctuate. You've secured a bit of the money. And so your mind's like at ease, because no matter what outcome you get from this trade, you've already had, money secured in your account. So no matter what happens, you had a good trade. And so that helps you with your psychology. It helps you with your confidence. Like, a lot of traders don't have confidence with their trades. They're always scared of the trades and they always leave early. So instead of leaving early with your whole trade, even though, you probably had like the best position and you now left the trade early, instead of doing that, what you can do is take that 50% partials, take half of the position out and let the other trade run. and you will see that you will now have better outcomes of trades, even though yes, you're eating up a little bit of your profits as a whole. But what you're actually doing is helping your psychology, helping the fact that you are not confident in the market. And especially if you are a beginner, this right here helps your track record, helps your win rate, to give you that confidence to keep placing more trades, to keep holding trades. And eventually you can do some trades where you don't have the 50% partials. You literally just go about your day and just hold the trade as long as possible. Now, if you, let's say, have a 1 to 6R or 1 to 7R or 1 to 8R, and you take your partials at 1 to 5, you can now confidently hold this trade as long as you want. For example, this trade, let's say I did hold it all the way down here, and I know that this is a very long risk reward ratio trade. I know that no matter what happens within this trade, at least I had some sort of positive outcome when it comes to this trade. So also, like, let's say sometimes I'll be placing trades in the R's, like, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, and that's way above what I normally ask for within the market. So sometimes it is a bit skeptical to hold the trade. And you never want to hold your trade at a 1 to 6 or 1 to 7R and you're like, oh, I'm gonna hold it more, I'm gonna hold it more, because the price can easily reverse. And now all that holding that you did, you end up losing the capital that you rightfully earned. Like, you rightfully called out the play, it went in your direction. The only problem was you didn't secure your money. So this right here helps you secure the money, helps you understand the trade, the play, and gives you that confident booster that, you know what, I had the direction correct, I had the play correct. The issue was my target, but at least I secured a little bit of the money. So now I can, continue trading and continue increasing my risk. So even if the price does go the wrong way, you secured half of the trade. No matter what happens now with this trade, you secured, you're good. And so doing this really, really helps. Now, don't just do this immediately, or don't just do this at a weird R ratio trade, because let's say you had a 1 to 2R, right? What would be your 50% partial? It won't be 1.5, it'll be a 1 to 1, right? So when you move your stop loss to break even, you now have to also take 50% partials. So trades like that, I wouldn't take 50% partials, only because it's a thing where the risk reward rate, sorry, the risk reward ratio is so short. Is like, is there a point even taking, that kind of partials? Is there any point? So it really depends on yourself as a trader. Like, if you don't mind holding a 1 to 2, I mean, a 1 to 2 takes less than, like, probably the way this trade is, it probably took like 6 hours, and so you don't have to always do this, but this technique here really, really does help scale your account, really does help with your confidence. And as a trader, you're going to notice that a lot of successful traders, they usually have like multiple positions within that trade. So let's say, for example, yeah, one lot size is the trade that I should take. What I would do is I would say, okay, let me start off with a 0.5 lot size. Let me do that twice. That equates to one lot size. And then if I ever feel unsure, what I can always do is take away some of the trade, so that at least I've secured some of the money from this trade. And so now you have this setup going on where no matter what trade you're in, as long as it goes in your direction, it goes in your play, no matter what happens, you're always going to secure some bit of your money. Because even though sometimes a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 might be outstretched, at least you're securing your partial of the amount. Because like I said earlier, most traders can make a lot of money. Most traders can see the floating money up and down, right? But what we can't do, and you'll notice that within your trading journey, you're going to notice that price was $100 up, and because you didn't want to close your trade, it ends up reversing and hitting your stop loss or hitting your break even. And so this right here helps you practice exiting the market and actually taking some partials and taking some money whatever the market has given you. Because like I said earlier, this, if your trade has gone your direction and it's the play is correct, you have every right to take your money. No one can tell you when you should exit the trade. And so it's only right for you to, if you are a little bit confident or you're not confident but you still want to hold the trade, is you have every right to close half of the position and let the other half play. And you don't have to do 50% if you feel like just doing 25% is fine. If you feel like doing 75% is fine. Like as long as you take some sort of partial to secure some profit, you can still do it at halfway point of your trade. And it doesn't have to be 50% of your trade. It can be 25% of your trade, 60%, 10%, whatever it is. As long as it's like a set procedure, for me, I would say 50%. But as long as it's a set procedure, you're going to see that the game that you play now within the markets, you have more of an advantage. Remember, there's two sides. You got the winning side, right? Win, and the losing side, right? Now, the losing side, right? They don't have advantage to the market, right? Whereas you now, you have 50% partials. You have your stop loss at break even. You had the play run out. You have more of an advantage. So your side of the area of winning is greater, right? Winning is greater than losing. So you're now on that side of the fence. And so you don't have to worry about the trade as much because you have these set protocols or set procedures when it comes to your trade, guys. So I hope you all understood the exit protocol. And I know it might sound and exiting the trades are so underrated. Like a lot of us just don't even worry about exiting trade because we believe that entry is the most important, the strategy is most important, the risk management is so important, which it is. But what's the most important is actually securing the bag. Like everyone can make money in the markets. What not everyone can do is not everyone knows when to secure the money, secure the bread that the market is giving you, right? You can keep getting and getting and getting and getting, but eventually the market is gonna try and take it back. And you have to make sure that you secure whatever you get, and so that the market, when it's time for it to take money back, you're not part of that run, right? For example, even in this area, like this area right here, I guarantee you most traders took their trade. Most traders took their stop loss. Most traders closed their position. And then because you, as a very good trader, and you're learning well, you took 50% trades. So now when the market does go in your favor and continues to go with just a little bit of a retracement, you actually end up securing more money than someone who just closed right here, closing out at 1 to 2. You still got to close out at 1 to 3. You still got to hold the trade, and you took partials just in case the market doesn't go in your way. Like, guys, there's no way you can lose if you do this. And doing this is really going to change your perception of the markets, because now you're going to realize that I don't have to always hold my trade. I can always, take some and leave the rest there and just go about my day and continue to do that. So this right here is going to really help your psychology, really help the way you are as a trader. And like I said, you don't have to always do it. Like, don't force it. But when you feel like doing it, make sure you do it. It's better than closing the full trade, because if the market does end up going your way, you are going to feel very, very like, I missed out, and you're going to feel very greedy, and you're going to try and revenge trade. So try and not do that. Only do it when it's time for you to, if you feel like, okay, market's kind of reversing, I've got my 1.5 R sorted or 50% sorted, I might just close half the trade and let the other one just run, and just doing that, right? So again, like I said, you don't have to do every single trade. You don't have to, don't have to set it in stone. Obviously, I would recommend moving a stop loss, making that a procedure. This is just an additional thing to make sure you have secured as much money as possible. Okay, guys? But I think that is pretty much it when it comes to the exit strategy. We got so much more to go through. I think we've got like 2 more weeks of this boot camp to go through. I'm just looking here. I think I've written down, we're going to be talking about prop firms. We're going to be talking about back testing, calculating lot sizes, which is very, very important as well. And we've got a few more psychology things as well. And then we're probably going to be ending the live stream. So, sorry, the boot camp, sorry. So, yeah, we still got another 2 more weeks, guys. I'll say the homework for you guys is write these down in notes and start practicing like doing this. Okay, so I would expect you like to have like a piece of paper like this and write down, like I'm like old school with it, right? I do write down things on my phone or notes. I like writing things down on a piece of paper. Like, I'm old school. So if that's someone like you as well, if you want to type your notes, I would say you got the weekend, so tomorrow Sunday. I would say, like, take a break tomorrow, look back at your notes. You should have, notes on your entries, notes on your exits now. And I would say fine tuning your notes and making sure that, if you have to stick some stuff on the wall, you have to print some stuff out, I would do that. And then tomorrow, I'm sorry, next week when you're trading, try this out. Like, it doesn't have to be your first trade of the week. It doesn't have to be like any trade at all. But even if it's like something where you're back testing, try this out. Actually attempt to do it and see how it changes the game or the markets, and actually see. So the homework I would set you guys, and I want you guys to really do this, because you guys probably are listening to me and probably thinking, yeah, it's a good idea, like 50% partial is amazing. But then because of the factor of you losing a little bit of money, no one likes to hear that. But you might think of it as, I'm losing money, but in reality, you're not losing, you're just securing what you earned. And I think that's the mentality you guys should have when it comes to the markets and when it comes to you trading. Everything that's floating is what you've earned, but it's not what you got. And the world doesn't work in the way you want it to work, where whatever you earn, you get. Because sometimes, however hard you work or however hard you find an entry or whatever it is, you're never going to get the full return out of it. So I would always say, get what you deserve and close that trade at 50%, and watch how your confidence and your portfolio will grow way faster than holding trades and unnecessarily holding trades. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys had a very good trading week, and I hope you continue to learn. I hope you continue to prosper, make more money, and I hope you continue to watch this boot camp. I know it gets tiring. I know, like, I felt burnt out last week, but I'm gonna keep pushing. Like I said at the beginning of this boot camp, we are holding each other accountable, and I'm gonna hold you accountable too. Like, I know most of you started watching the boot camp and you kind of fell off, and now you're watching again. Keep going, keep pushing, keep learning, and you're gonna see that the more you learn, the more you earn, guys. So that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna see you guys on Monday, but I hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys later, guys.